All right, so now we move on to Give Me Your Soul, Please, and thank God I remembered the name this time.
Please.
Please, yes.
It's very polite. Very polite.
It is very polite.
Wait for it. Please.
Please.
Your soul.
Please. All right, how did the recording go for that album? Any issues?
No. I mean, again, I guess it would be the same answer as the Puppet Master. There were sure to be ups and downs in the course of, I think it was a week again, you know. There would be some ups and downs during it, but nothing that stands out. It was just part of the ins and outs of recording. And I remember it going very smoothly. I remember Give Me Your Soul, like I said before, you know, it was the smoothest of all the albums. King, I think, knew how to work with me by that time, and I knew how to work with King by that time.
Yeah.
Not that we couldn't ever work before, but it was just much smoother.
Yeah.
And we knew what to do, and we knew how to do it, and we did it.
Yes, and like I said earlier, it does sound like he gained more confidence in you, and you're allowed to kind of be freely, you know, do what you kind of like feels right for the music.
Yeah, I think Give Me Your Soul, Please is a very interesting album. It's got like it's got some material that's really different for King. It's kind of like I don't want to say pop, but like it's like a gothic kind of. It's simpler with
right.
Simpler forms and chords. You know, it sets a mood a lot different kind of way than the roller coaster prog metal.
Right. Yeah.
But then again, on Give Me Your Soul, Please, there's a lot of riffs that are faster and thrashier too. Mm-hmm. Like Never Ending Hill and The Floating Head is one. You know, it's kind of thrashy.
Yeah. Oh shit! There was just something else. The video for
Give Me Your Soul.
Give me. Oh, all right. Boy, I remember the album name, but I couldn't remember the video name, and it was the same name as the album. Well, how did you do the video? Were you all together in the same room, or was everybody at their own place doing the green screen, or what?
You know, I know that look, Wayne. It's the look of a dude with a 4-year-old.
Yeah. If you would have known the shit I just had to go through before we had to do this, you'd understand.
Maybe, yeah. So, what was the question, man? Sorry.
I don't remember.
I mean,
about the video.
Oh, the video, yeah. How'd you do the video?
The video. Okay, so I did my shots on my own. I did it at a friend's house, and he's got like a studio out back. So I called in a favor, and the camera guy came out and shot me playing through the tune there. And then all the other shots is everybody else in their own locations.
Oh, okay.
And that's where my participation in the video stops.
I was going to say, because I don't think you're in the video.
Well, I am playing the drums.
You are doing very little.
Well, it's about the story, you know. It's
yeah. But it was cool. It was cool to see it, you know, finally see a video, because he hasn't done videos in like ages, so it's cool to see him do something.
Yeah.
Put it out there.
Yeah, right. It's cool. He's got the crystal ball and
yeah.
That house and stuff.
Yeah. Yeah, and he's in that like the basement or whatever. So it was pretty cool. Um, favorite song off of "Give Me a Soul," please. Or is there a fun one of the like a fun song that you'd like to play off this album?
It'd be Floating Head. We did when we I think in 2012 and 13 we did like Shades of Black, and we did Never Ending Hill, and yeah. But I'll probably say Never Ending Hill because that's what we got nominated for a Grammy for.
Right. Yeah.
And that was exciting. We lost to Slayer, but I mean.
Oh yeah, that's right. Yeah. Come on, can you blame that? Lisa, do you have anything?
For this album?
Or yeah.
No, actually, well, I did note that this
See
was
what these
also
drummers. You see what these drummers do?
No,
Well, you're doing
wait.
interviews. They start tapping on things.
Sorry, man. I got my practice pad right here.
I was married to a drummer. I was once married to a drummer. Okay, so yeah, I know.
Been to hell.
You're all. You can't be taken to a fucking restaurant, especially not to a Japanese or Chinese restaurant where there's chopsticks and glassware.
Oh, forget it.
Yeah, forget it. Can't be taken anywhere. Banging on shit. That's so funny, man.
Who's checking the table,
man?
Yeah, exactly. So all I know it's also split between. This was also split recording between U.S. and Sweden. So kind of the same format where the guitar players are doing their thing at the end in Sweden, and you guys are laying down the basic tracks in Texas, that kind of thing.
Yeah, this one stands out because Andy and King mixed it at King's house.
Yeah, so King's house literally means King's house. Does it? What is King's house? Is it an actual studio or is it just King's house?
Oh, well, actually, now it's both.
Okay. So it's just attached to his home. It's part of his home.
Well, now it's in his house. He's got.
Okay.
Yeah, he turned a couple rooms, I think, into.
So he couldn't come up with a
studio.
better name. He couldn't come up with a name.
Besides King's house, but
King's house.
The thing is, it's King's house.
What else would you really call it?
I don't know.
What do you want me to call it? Like
Necromantic Studio or something. Come up with something cool. I mean,
come to my studio, please. ...
Please. Yeah, but no, it's just I'm a nerd and I'm fascinated with the multi-track process, and I'm fascinated with, you build a house and then you take it out brick by brick and you put the bricks back in, and just how that's done, and how you as musicians you feel off each other, and what are you tracking to, and because that's what makes an album sound either organic or clinical. So
yeah, you're right.
Yeah.
And you know what? It's a lot of hard work. Putting out an album from bottom to top, there's so much to it, man. People don't realize if you've never made an album, the artwork can all of a sudden take 6 months of fixes, and something can go wrong. You just never know, and that's every step of the way. Yeah. There's so much to it. Yeah. For example, fucking guitar players got a tune between every goddamn. Sorry.
If you want to convince guitar players, go for it. I'm a bass player.
No, I mean, there's a lot of things that take time in the studio that some people just don't account for it. People will say, "Okay, this is going to take a week," and guess what, pal? 2 months later, you better call the last uncle you talked to for some money.
Now, Give Me a Soul, Please was pretty much, I guess, your last tour before this last one that you just did. How did that tour go?
That we didn't tour for that. That was the tour.
You didn't tour for that one?
He canceled.
Oh, that's right, because of the back thing.
Yeah, that's right. And that started the 6-year-long hiatus.
Yeah.
Wow. So after that happened, did you think, shit, maybe this might be over now?
Yeah, a couple times. Well, I mean, the whole time that King was going through his back stuff, I was pretty sure we'd be back. But then when he had the heart attack, I wasn't sure.
Yeah.
Right.
But then his rehab started going faster than anybody expected. And he was up and singing, and all of a sudden we had shows scheduled.
Right. Wow. Was he going through any back issues recording the album? Or if it just come out of nowhere?
Recording the album? You mean Give Me Your Soul, Please?
Yeah.
Oh, I don't know. I don't think so. I think it started maybe after, or maybe it was during. I'm actually not too clear on those details.
All right. And I don't know, maybe you know, or maybe you might maybe can't say anything about it, but Hal Patino, he left the band, and I know him and King had like a big argument or whatever happened. Can you talk about that at all?
A kerfuffle.
Yeah.
Can I talk about it? I mean, the stuff that's public is like they had an argument over money, and Hal split, and Pontus came in.
Yeah. Were you close friends with Hal at all? Like, how did you guys work together on tour, or when you worked together?
Yeah, he was like a big brother to me.
Really?
I learned so much shit from Hal Patino about how to be a rock star, and I also learned from him that I can just never be like that. I gave it my all.
Yeah.
But yeah, man, Hal's a pretty special dude. His stage presence is among the best in all of rock and roll.
Yeah.
And his rock and roll ethos is something to behold, and I am grateful that I was able to witness it for so many years, man. That's the way I feel about it. He was kind of like an older brother, and I miss him, but I love Pontus also.
Yeah. Who do you prefer?
Put you on the
Don't
spot.
say anything.
Come on.
Don't say anything.
No,
I mean,
actually, who's I don't even know how to say this because they're two totally different bass players, really. I don't even know how to say it. Have you heard Pontus's other band that he's in, Wolf?
Yeah.
Yeah. What do you think of them?
Yeah, they're cool, man.
Yeah, they're a good band.
Sweden has got this this aesthetic that's like they have a high there's a high bar for quality there. Like, I don't know, everything sounds great.
Right. Yeah, there's so many bands that come out of Sweden. It's just like one great band after the other. It's insane.
Well, they have music school. They teach kids music in grade school, high school.
Yeah.
You know, all the kids have music education.
If they're not in the studio, they're on vacation, man. Don't you work?
Or they're making meatballs.
Yeah, exactly. All right, and then you're on hiatus for all that time. Then you went back on tour, and you got back together. And then King had that big, humongous stage built up, and he wasn't doing any more like small shows, and everything's like been really big stadium shows. So how was that when you started getting into that?
Amazing.
Yeah.
Yeah, what happened was we took that break, and in that interim, I guess King's legend grew. Mm-hmm. There was a return to the roots of metal, maybe.
Yeah,
I think there was more like definitely in Europe, like a return to true metal, and you know, King kind of personifies that, right. And so I think his legend grew. It also got a boost because Ozfest, he went out and sang with Metallica.
Yep.
And then Metallica put Merciful Fate on the Guitar Hero, the Metallica Guitar Hero.
Yep.
And then also Metallica recorded Satan's Fall.
Right.
And put that out as a cover. Or actually, I think it was a big long medley.
Yeah, they did a medley
on it.
Yep.
Right. So that
and then they invited King, I think, to their 30th anniversary too. I think, right?
Yes,
King was at
that's
that.
right, in San Francisco. They did that too, the Merciful Fate reunion thing. Yeah, Metallica was having like a whole series of guests, the residents kind of gig. Yeah, cool. So yeah, so when we did the comeback shows in 2012, it was like headlining Sweden Rock and Hellfest,
Right.
which
Huge.
yeah, the crowds grew when we headlined in 2006. I think our biggest crowd was like 5,500 in Moscow, maybe something like that. And then Sweden Rock, I think, was like 35,000. And I think Hellfest was like 50,000. So it was mind blowing, man. It's awesome.
Biggest crowd you've played in front of?
Yeah. Yep.
Yeah.
Today. Well, you know, I've played festivals before with cover bands and other kinds of bands. Generic festivals with like the Texas State Fair.
Okay.
You know,
yeah.
Like there's 100,000 people, but they're like
they're not the
scattered.
you.
Yeah. Totally different experience.
Totally different experience.
Totally,
well, it seems like it's generational now. That's what I noticed because I saw the 2019 tour in Portland with our idle hands, our Portland people, you know.
Nice.
And yeah, it was a great show, and the audience was definitely it was two generations. It was, you know, uncles bringing nieces and nephews, and parents bringing, you know, kids too, but also just a lot of different age groups, people around my age that listened to, you know, I went to the first Merciful Fate show in America, and that was in Portland, you know, so there were people like my age, and then there were a lot of younger people too, and I thought that was really cool to see. Yeah,
I totally agree. It's awesome. There's little kids with King makeup, and
so cool.
It's so cool. It really is. Yep, I couldn't agree more.
What do your kids think of King Diamond?
They're not in. They don't get it. They don't understand what's happening. They're into different tunes, man. You know,
really. Yeah.
Kids like Minecraft songs. I don't know what the hell is going on.
Yeah, I don't know either. So what do you think of the stage? Obviously, it's a lot bigger than, you know, what you used to be playing in, because you used to do with smaller clubs. But how do you like the bigger stage?
I like it. I think it's visually stunning from the front.
Yeah.
You know, I think is you know, King, and I'm not sure the extent that Livy designed this one, but King, you know, he's meticulous, man. He goes through it step by step, song by song, riff by riff, you know, and gets things the way he wants to see it. He's into like the details of like light bouncing off the mirrors and lighting this up and this, creating the mystery over here, and you know, it's pretty awesome.
Wow.
Yeah, it's pretty cool. And on the last couple tours, I've been like way up on the second floor, you know, deluxe apartment in the sky.
Well, do you find any like visual challenges, you know, for visual cueing especially when you're up there and you ride kind of low in the saddle, it seems like. So do you have any visual issues with being up that high and being on that biggest stage as opposed to being down low? Like, where's the bass player? Yeah, definitely. We work it out in rehearsal, you know. Oh, okay.
Like there's definitely parts that we need to hit, you know, look at each other for resolution. And we'll work it out during rehearsal, you know. Yeah. Problem, solution.
Yeah.
Really cool. And then one last thing about the tour, actually the final tour that you've done, you guys had a meet and greet. How did that go? Because that's the first time he's ever done that.
Man, I was really worried about it going into it. I was like, oh man, because like a lot of the times on tours, you're just fighting for free time, you know.
Right.
And this was going to take up more of it, but I ended up having an awesome time and looking forward to it every night, you know, because every time, like, it was just people after people, whatever. They were so happy to be there and to meet us and to talk to us, you know. I had some pretty cool conversations, and it was just a fun time.
Yeah, it's pretty cool because he doesn't. I mean, for a little while, I know King was like doing Skype interviews and things like that, which, you know, he would never do things like that. And then when I saw him do the meet and greet thing, I thought that was really cool because, like, you know, brings people back to show what goes on backstage a little bit, and you get to meet the band and everything, so that's pretty cool. That seems to be like the cool thing to do now anyway, too, is meet and greets.
Well, I mean, that part of that is bands are scrambling to find ways to keep going.
Yep, make more money. Yep.
It's become a necessary thing sometimes.
Yeah, streaming is wiping everybody out.
Killed everything, so don't blame it for happening. All right. Anything else about the albums, Lisa?
Well, I have a question somewhere or something down about the live album.
Oh, yeah.
And the live album sounds so consistent. It really is. And maybe that's a post thing, that's a mastering thing, but it just sounds like the performances are consistent. Some of these are outdoor venues, some of these are indoor venues. What was the process of like choosing what songs? Did you guys just play your shows and then go, okay, we're going to pick the best songs off of that album? Or were you involved in that process for the live album?
Yeah. The extent of my involvement was to play the shows.
Okay.
And that was basically it.
Yeah.
But we have 2 live albums. There's one called Deadly Lullabies Live, which was the puppet. Yeah. Okay. So that was taken in a bunch of different venues.
That's the one I'm thinking of.
Oh, okay. Yeah. Well, that was all indoor venues on like House of Blues kind of venues.
Yeah. For
a Puppet Master tour. And then the one we just put out last year was for the Abigail tours. Mm-hmm. And it was it consists of 2 shows, one from Philadelphia, which was indoor, and then one from Grass Pop in 2016, which was outdoor.
Okay. Yeah. Yeah, that sounds great.
Thank you.
We're tight. Great. Yeah. The band's tight. The band is really tight. Yeah. Heard a lot of great compliments after the show here. So
starting in 2012, I switched to in-ear monitors.
Yeah.
And it was like coming out of the trees.
Yeah, I was going to ask you about that too, because I've seen some older video of you, and I'm like, maybe you had some hair hanging down. I'm going like, he doesn't have in-ears in, man. So
yeah, monitor.
Yeah, it's monitor.
I don't ever want to go back to that. With in-ears, the thing is, I can put Andy over here, and Mike is over here, and then I can have everything panned and compressed. Just awesome. So I can really dot the I's and cross the T's, and we can hear each other, and it helps.
Yeah,
helps hear each other.
Oh, I can imagine. Yeah, totally different thing with the monitors.
All right, monitors. I mean, you never know what you're gonna get.
Right.
1, 2, 3, 4.
Yeah, I'm so old school, and I mostly work in a power trio situation. So my husband's like, you need the in-ears, but I'm just old school. Always still working with a monitor and earplugs. But that's, maybe one of these days.
That's life.
Hey, I haven't had too many musical guests on the show that actually play the music, so that's cool.
Yeah, I can dance.
Do a lot of tapping, dancing, whatever. All right, you want to do fan questions now?
Yes.
All right, cool. All right, I got a couple fan questions, and these are all from there's millions and millions of King Diamond groups on there, but I just stuck to one specific one. I forget which one it is. Maybe the Merciful Fate King Diamond Facebook group, but I just stuck to that one. Got a bunch of questions here. Lee Gibson, he was actually at a show in Atlanta November 5th. After the set, everyone on stage was throwing picks and sticks and stuff. And you, Matt, you keep trying to go into door number 9. And he says it will not open, and Livia's looking at you, and you try to keep to get into that door. And he has a bunch of pictures of you trying to get into that door. So he wants to know, what was the urgency to get in there?
Atlanta, I think that was early on in the tour, and I still didn't know how to open the stupid door. It took a few tries. That's my only guess.
Really?
Does he mean that I went in the door way before everybody else? Like my timing was off? That's also possible.
That's possible. Well, he sent me a picture. You do see you're the only one. Everybody's throwing their picks and stuff, and waving to the audience or whatever, and you're at the door trying to open the door.
He had to
I'm
pee.
out of there.
He had
I was
to
out of
pee.
there, man. I don't remember.
Well, you gotta pee.
No,
you know?
it could be. Maybe I just misjudged the outro music, or I thought everybody was behind me. Or maybe they juked.
You probably can't see it, but here's the picture, and it looks like you're knocking at the door.
Let me out!
Oh man!
So I thought that was pretty funny. And then he sent me the picture.
I'm not embarrassed.
Lee's actually a drummer too.
Question, Lee.
Yeah. Thanks, Lee. Nick Guerin, when doing the older material, did you ever say, "How the fuck did Mickey do this"?
Yes, but I think that's more from a production standpoint. Like I just couldn't really hear what was happening, and I think there's a few places like where I'll just guess,
Yeah.
But it's just kind of mechanics. Is it a rough or is he doing singles or doing doubles? There's some parts where I'm like, why? How the hell did he come up with that? And why did he come up with it, man? And why does that work?
Yeah.
And a lot of that's on them. You're right to say that it's the most progressive approach he took to King Diamond. Because there's a lot of places where he'll just come up with this pattern that goes over the bar line. It doesn't resolve for a while, but then it does. That kind of thing. Yeah.
Even that intro to Welcome Home is just that's still confusing to me. I'll just never get that down. How long did it take you to get that down? Fairly quickly, probably, because you're master drummer.
No, it evolved, man. Because when I first started, I was checking out the way John did it because King gave me a live videotape, and he goes, "Check this out. This is our show, and this is how it needs to be done," because that was the House of God tour in the U.S. So I kind of emulated that, and it just kind of evolved because I was like, I don't know, and then I listened to, I remember listening back on it, on the original Welcome Home during rehearsals, and just thinking, man, maybe I should try to do it a little more like Mickey, and then I did it, and it was cool. Yeah, and it's kind of evolved over the years. I used to do it with 2 bass drums in between the hits, and then I kind of moved it to 3.
You can play it if you want.
I don't know if you'll be able to hear it through the thing. Let me grab So here it is with 2. The way I was doing it.
A free drum lesson.
Can you hear that?
Yeah.
Yeah. So here it is with the 2 bass drums. It sounds weird slow because I'm just fitting in there. But I started putting 3 in there just to make it interesting.
Yeah.
Wow.
Yeah.
You know what I'm saying?
Yeah.
It just fills it out. It doesn't really. I don't know.
Hey, it works.
Yeah, it's great.
All right.
But, could I come up with something like that? I don't know, man. That's the thing about Mickey's stuff. Mechanically, it might not be too hard, but to come up with it and to pull it off in his way is like
right. Yeah.
Get it back.
When you play the older stuff, do you feel like you have to get it down, or do you just kind of do what you do in a way?
What was the first part of that?
When you play the older stuff, do you feel like you have to play it like how the older drummers played the songs?
Yeah, yes and no. The way I see it is, it's up to me to make sure that the important stuff is there.
Right.
And I think that mostly with Mickey's stuff and the earlier the material, the more important I think it is to get it closer to the original. Mm-hmm. Like even the minutia of the fills and stuff because of the fans and what they want to hear. Right. And other than that, there's the stuff that that just definitely needs to be there, and then there's stuff where I can, just kind of put other stuff in there, kind of under the flow of it. Like live, it's got to have a bounce to it, and the stuff you do under that is kind of what you're bringing to the table. If that makes any sense.
Did you ever do anything? No, I get it. Did you ever do anything live and the King was like, "Don't do that again"?
No, not live, because we worked that out in rehearsals.
So I imagine you did that in rehearsals.
Yes.
But which song do you remember? Or is there?
No, I mean, the thing that stands out when you say that is there was a cymbal. There's a cymbal I brought, and I counted off a song with it. And in the middle of the count off, the thing bent too much. Yeah. So I think the third hit, like 1, 2, 3, 4. On 3, it had bent, and I hit the bell of it with the tip. And it was like weak and winky dinky, man. And King said, "Don't ever play that cymbal again." So that was it. The cymbal got retired. You know what? And here it is. I'll show it to you.
Oh, he still has it.
Yeah, this is the one. It's a great cymbal, man. This Pasty Nova China.
Oh yeah, that's awesome. Yeah.
Yeah, it's awesome, but it wasn't right for the situation. It failed its audition.
Wow, that's cool. I love those cymbals.
Yeah, me too.
Yeah, Lou. I can't pronounce his last name. Laramu, whatever. Lou, this is your question. So, what's the most memorable show you've played with King Diamond, and why?
First show I ever played, St. Petersburg, Russia. And I'm an American, and I grew up in the 80s. And that's why. That was awesome, man. Awesome to be in Russia.
Wow. Really cool. Bobby Kellis, what's your favorite King Diamond song to play as well as to listen to? King Diamond or Merciful Fate? So.
I love playing all the songs. There's so many different things that go by in the course of a show. To say that one is a favorite would just bring so much injustice to other songs.
is there one song you would wish that was brought into the set list that hasn't been brought into the set list yet?
Good question.
Yeah, maybe Darkness from Puppet Master, or maybe Ritual. I would love to do a Puppet Master tour. But anyway, one thing that we did on the last 2 tours was Behind These Walls from the Eye.
Yes, I love that song.
That sucker stood out, man. It
Yeah.
just worked live, and I loved playing it.
Yeah,
so I'll pick that one.
Cool. Jared L'Espérance. Ask you, how hard is it to play Mickey D's drumming? And also, if you're aware of how bad... Oh, I'm not asking that.
Hey, wait, what?
No.
I'm going to edit this, but he says, how hard is it to play Mickey D's drumming? And also, if you're worried about how bad King's past drummers were after D left until you were hired.
Hey, I don't mind answering the other part of the question.
Okay.
I wouldn't mind addressing it at all, actually. So the first part of the question is how. It's up to you. No, you don't have to edit it. Okay. The first part of the question is did I find Mickey D's drumming hard to play? And the answer is at that point of, like I said before, at that point in my career, I'd better be able to learn how to play metal songs. I'd already been playing for a couple decades at that point. And it fit like a glove. That style of metal just fit like a glove, man. I embraced thrash early on when I first heard Metallica, and that was what I practiced a whole lot of. So it just it was like riding a bike, really. And yeah, like I said before, mechanically, I didn't find it hard to play Mickey's parts, but the genius of Mickey's parts is how he plays them, and that he came up with his sense of composition and where he put what he put. Yeah. The second part of the question is, was he the guy who asks a question doesn't feel that the drummers since Mickey D are good. So I'm going to say that you just don't understand the situation. You should check out what Snowy Shaw's done in his career since he left King Diamond. You should check out Notre Dame.
Ill Will.
And remember that he's doing Ill Will. But on Notre Dame, you have to know. Yeah, it's ahead of its time. It's really unique.
Yeah.
It's something special. So it's worth checking out, man, because Snowy is not only not bad, he's one of the greatest artists in metal.
Yes.
So you're mistaken, my friend.
Speaking of Snowy, I'll promote this one more time. I don't want to do it on your show, but you know what? We're all drummers, so
you got one.
The Snowy Show book. And listen, you idiot Jared, go buy his book and go learn how the fucking drummer really sounds, all right? Idiot.
I didn't realize how big it was. That's a huge book.
It is a very big book. I've yet to open it, but it's a big book. Matt,
all right, man. So yeah, go ahead.
Yeah. What were we gonna say? What? Go ahead, Lisa.
Well, you can edit this out if you want.
Wow.
But what I've noticed is, as a studio musician myself, and working with a lot of studio musicians, sometimes you come into a situation with which you are less familiar with people you're less familiar with, and you may have these brilliant ideas, but you don't feel comfortable bringing them to the fore. So you are given this scratch track, or you are given like E-drum stuff or bass line or whatever, the keyboard bass, whatever I'm given, and you just do that. And you don't necessarily give yourself a chance to shine. You see what I'm saying? So I sometimes it's just a personal situation where you feel like I am here to do what you asked me to do. And maybe they don't fight for those. Hey, I think maybe we should do this, because maybe they don't feel comfortable bringing that to the boss. So I'm just saying, when you're listening to a recording, you're listening to the project, and you're listening to that drummer in that situation at that time, and you're not necessarily, you can't necessarily judge a drummer based on
previous
that.
members. Yeah.
So anyway, well, I don't know what you think of that.
Yeah, I mean, you're spot on, Lisa. Like, I've had so many clients in my career, and it ranges from I want you to play exactly what's on this drum machine pattern to I want you to go crazy. I just want you to play blah, 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 and I have to interpret blah, 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 blah. I'm not even kidding. So, you want to. My job is to fulfill the client's vision. Obviously King is more than just a client, but there's no way that Darren and John are crappy drummers.
No way. No way.
Those are great albums they were on.
Right.
So even listen to James Jamerson over his career, and you can tell which studio situation where the producer said, play this. And you can see which situation where they said, hey, we got James Jamerson in the house, do what you do. And you can tell which pile of songs, is in which camp.
Yeah, I mean, there's a producer for every album, and there's someone in charge for every album. Yeah, I remember seeing a long time ago a documentary of Aerosmith recording an album, and Joey Kramer was being dictated to by
Steve
Tyler, and Steve Tyler has a very hands-on approach in the studio, I guess. And I think that's just a situation a lot. But a drummer is a sideman. It's not my job to go in there and say, well, I need to shine, and I need the drums louder, and I need to play a fill, because it's just not my job, man.
It's got to serve the song.
Exactly.
Yeah, serve the song, serve the vision. Yeah. I don't know if I answered the question.
No.
I don't know if I answered any questions.
Matthew Hebert, beverage of choice when the show's over and it's time to relax.
When it's time to relax. Well, you remember that commercial?
No?
God, which beer was that?
One beer stands clear, beer after beer. You got the time. Miller.
We got the Miller beer. Yeah, I'm old.
That's not the answer.
I'm older than you.
I'm only 40.
Hey, you want to hear something funny, man? The Scandinavians, they have Budweiser on the rider. They like Budweiser. When they come to America, they can't wait to have Budweiser. They really like to toast Budweiser after the show.
It's not a bad lager. It's not bad.
It's like the last 3 tours. Well, actually, it is not that bad. They changed something up. It's better than it was. It really is.
I don't.
I stopped drinking actually for good almost a year ago, and I wasn't drinking much before that anyway. I just kind of stopped on tour. The older I got, I'm 50 now, and the older I got, the more drinking affected me the next day. When I first started touring, it was, we're in Europe,
Germany.
There's no problem, I could bounce right back, and play no problem. But the older I got, it started to affect me, man. There was one rehearsal. We were rehearsing in Denmark, and I'd gone out the night before and drank like a bunch of shots of like aquavit, and I just lost my place in one of the songs during rehearsal the next day, and that was it, man. I was like, all right, I can't do that anymore. Very unprofessional to lose your place because you're fucking hungover.
Exactly. Oh, and there was another thing. Matthew wanted to know, how do you deal with life on a tour bus without going insane?
Books. On the last 2 tours, I was studying for my ham license and passed with 100%.
Oh, wow.
Ham radio.
Yeah.
So that was cool. But also a lot of iPhone and a lot of sweeping. I sleep better in a bus bunk when the bus is moving than I sleep at home.
You're that guy. You're that guy. Hey, I have a question. Can I ask? Every drummer is special in their own way. All special in your own way. Now, I asked you, Wayne, if you had an unusual food habit, an unusual eating, something that you eat, or some unusual eating habit, because in my experience, most drummers do. Is there something weird that you like to eat that people go like, I can't believe you would like to eat that? Or the way you eat or something? Is my theory wrong?
No, I mean, I could say that I've always been an adventurous eater. I like to try stuff from where I've been. I had whale meat in Norway and reindeer in Finland, and I've had borscht, goulash in the East. And I've had souvlaki in Greece. I could try to eat whatever. I guess the weirdest thing that people can't believe is whale, because eating whale was still legal in Norway in 2001. So I had some whale meat up there. That was pretty heavy. Whatever.
What does whale taste like?
Yeah.
You know what? It tasted like good toro. Like tuna belly.
Huh.
Like raw tuna belly. It was like that.
Yeah. Well, no more whale.
I had,
the only weird.
One time I was in Italy. I ordered this pasta and had this.
Oh, we must be on like a tiny delay. Pasta, what?
Hiya! This one time in Italy, I ordered pasta. It had this black sauce all over it, and I ate it, and I was like, "That's kind of interesting."
Oh, yeah.
I ordered it. I didn't know what I just ordered it. It was in Italian. I was like, "Just whatever you think is good," and it turns out it was squid ink on the freaking pasta, but it was fine. That's kind of weird too. Also,
I was thinking something worse. I was watching one of those Travel Channel shows, and there was something like that. It was black, some kind of black sauce or whatever, and it ended up being like blood, something like pig's blood or something like that.
Oh,
so yeah, I thought you were gonna go that way.
Oh,
but the only thing I could think of, Lisa, and I just thought of it now because he was talking about different foods everywhere he goes. I like to try pizza when I go to different places. because everybody brags about how good pizza is in New York.
Yeah.
So I like to see if anybody has good enough pizza like New York. And so
Yeah.
far, I've yet to find any good pizza.
Well, I have a touring friend who she came up with, the Mason-Dixon line. She calls it the pizza chicken line. Because you go north of the pizza chicken line, you get the good pizza. You go south of the pizza chicken line, you get the good chicken.
Yeah, it's pretty much how it works.
And so you are in good chicken territory down there.
That's true.
In Texas.
There is some good chicken here.
Mickey Watson, I think that's his Matson. Sorry, Mickey Matson. I think that's how you pronounce your name. What was most influential for inspiration for Puppet Master versus Give Me Your Soul?
Mostly, the inspiration is I'm playing an album with King fucking Diamond.
Mm.
Other than that, I'm playing Andy Warrock's fucking riffs.
Right. Yeah.
It's pretty inspiring.
Pinch yourself.
I wasn't meeting for him for the first time.
Meeting who? Andy?
Andy, yeah.
Or King?
Andy.
Oh, Andy. I met Andy the first time on the streets of Copenhagen, and he's just super nice, man. He's a super nice guy, super easy to get along with. We clicked right away. I think he clicks with a lot of people right away, probably because he's just real friendly and nice and soft spoken.
Yeah.
Open.
What was it? Well, now we mentioned
No
it. What was it like?
Andy.
What was it like meeting King for the first time? You a little nervous?
It was. Yeah, I was actually. To be honest with you, I was. But I mean, I relaxed inside there.
Yeah.
I went to meet him, and he showed me the tour schedule, and I was just excited. He told me they were looking at a few other drummers, and he would call me. He said he'd call in a couple weeks, and it took like a month and a half.
Wow.
And man, that was some month and a half, man. I ran to the phone. Back then, you had to actually answer the phone.
Yeah.
It's for you, and hand the phone over to somebody.
Yeah.
So I was living with a roommate, and I beat him to the phone the whole time. Yeah. And then one day the phone called, and it was King. And he said, "Yep, you're the drummer."
Wow. Do you know who the other drummers were?
Say again, sorry.
Do you know who the other drummers were that he was considering?
I don't.
No?
I don't.
Gareth Thompson. Who are your top influences growing up that made you become a drummer?
There's so many, man. When I was really young, I listened to Buddy Rich and Chick Corea because my mom would turn me on to that stuff, and also my dad. I listened to a lot of classic rock that was on the radio that my dad would play. And when I was 9, I was given 2 albums, Permanent Waves and Pink Floyd The Wall, which kind of set me on 2 different ways, I guess. But I was always into Van Halen. I was always into Rush. I was always into prog. I mean, like, yes, Genesis, you name it. I love the Doors. I love psychedelic rock, the 60s, 70s. I love the jazz in the 60s and 70s and the rock and the heavy stuff. And I don't know, man. I've always been an open book. I realized at an early age that by reading modern drummer interviews that the music business is hard and you have to scrap to get by sometimes and can't really afford to just focus on one kind of music, So I always tried to study. I just tried to study music, not necessarily like just being into one style.
Yeah.
And it served me well because, I can scrap.
You can pretty much fit into anything, really. Mark Mitchell, ask you about the.
I don't know if that really. Yeah.
What?
No, that was good.
You don't know if it answers this question?
I don't. I don't think I answered this question. I can sit here and list drummers all day long. If he heard of the drummer, then yeah, he influenced me.
What was the your favorite band growing up? Like that band that you always listened
It was Rush. It was certainly
Rush.
Rush for from 1982 probably until 1988.
Mhm.
It was certainly Rush overall, but it wasn't limited to Rush by any means, man. You know, I just soaked it all in. I was into so much stuff.
Yeah. Totally understandable. Mark Mitchell, what's going on with Shaolin Death Squad?
Yeah.
Shaolin Death Squad.
Yeah.
Yeah, they're still my friends. You know, it's still on a text chat with them.
Huh.
So you can tell them that. I recorded a new song a couple months ago, and just waiting for them to maybe record it, maybe we'll release it. The thing about Shaolin Death Squad is we're all kind of in the same boat. We're all a bunch of family men. We're all married and working. And Shaolin Death Squad doesn't make us any money, so it's not high on our list of priorities. We have like probably 3 albums worth of music written. And we go to listen to it, and we're like, Jesus, man, what a commitment it's going to be to learn this shit. So I don't think anything really goes forward.
I actually just, I've heard of the name of the band, but then when you mentioned it, I looked it up on YouTube. There's some good stuff. I never gave the band a chance before. I never really knew about it.
Really digging it. I mean, for fans of like Mr. Bungle, or
I was gonna say Mr. Bungle's
or like Devin Townsend kind of stuff. I mean, it's just I had heard the name, but I hadn't checked it out. I've been checking it out and loving it. So I hope you do. You know, just it's like a vanity project almost. You know, and just I hope you guys do produce some new music, because it's like a brain massage, man.
Yeah, I mean, we probably will. We're a bunch of friends, you know, in this kind of small town. I think a couple guys moved to Dallas. One guy. Anyway, whatever. We're all very close, and so I guess we probably will make music at some point, or gig, or either that, or we won't.
Yeah. Here's a name you might know, maybe not. Jody Cascia. She wants to know, how does it manage to survive without seeing her for months at a time?
Yeah.
Any idea who she is?
Jody Cascia, yeah.
Sound familiar? Maybe it could be somebody's grandmother.
I just talked to her last week. Tell her she's doing fine.
She's doing fine?
Yeah.
I'll tell her. Maybe she'll watch the show. Chris Davis, tell him thanks for being cool. Thanks for being cool, Matt. And ask if
you're welcome.
Do your students ever get to play on your Abigail Tour Tamas?
Abigail Tour Tamas? No. I think they're in Europe.
Scott Veltman, what is your favorite country to tour?
USA. I don't know. Different countries for different reasons. I think the only country we really tour is the U.S. We don't really we'll do a U.S. tour, but then a Europe tour will be like a bunch of different countries. You know, maybe one show in this country, maybe a couple shows in another country. So it's not really like touring countries. But as far as touring regions go, again, there's pros and cons, man. There's things I love about Europe. There's things I love about the U.S. and there's things I don't love about both of them. So yeah, it's just a complicated question.
I have a question. Well, no, I have a question about like the difference between European audiences and American audiences. And I know, you know, you're behind the kit, you're focusing on what you're doing, but have you noticed the difference between the way they physically react?
Yeah, I don't know. You know, in Europe, mosh pits will break out, and there's places where they won't. And the same thing in the U.S. There's places where they'll break out and places where they won't. And that can depend on the layout of the theater. Sometimes you go in and there's seats that can't be removed, so there can't be, and it's not the fault of the audience. that it seems mellow. There were some European festivals where it was pretty mellow, but King has done a lot of late shows, like starting at 1 p.m. And in Europe, man, they're drinking in the sun all day. So by the time we play, that's just the way it is. And in other places, they're just going crazy. So I don't know. That's a real complicated question. There's definitely places that are okay. There's some places that just go nuts. Greece goes crazy every time. These are places where the crowd is louder than the PA. That happened in Russia, all across the East. Like Hungary, Poland, Serbia, Romania, and Bulgaria. They go crazy. I think that the fewer shows an area has, the more grateful they are when a show comes. So that's Europe. Now, South America is a whole nother ball game.
I was going to ask.
Yeah, they go nuts.
They go
crazy.
Have you had?
They're on.
Oh, I was going to ask if have you played some stages where things are just a little hinky, like maybe stages are unsafe, or that they're because I don't know if you've played in some third world countries where you've gone, I don't know, man, this riser doesn't seem quite right, or
our new stage, when we first started playing, I was like, I don't know, man, because people are walking up the stairs right on top of me, right? So if something collapses, I'm going to die. But then, I checked it out, and I checked out the structure. It wiggles a little bit, but I lived. At some point, you got to say, maybe today's a good day to die.
You guys bring a lot of stuff. You guys, it's a lot of stagecraft.
It's a lot. Yeah. I'm lucky that I don't have to, move it or anything like that. Very glad I practiced a lot. The crew's amazing. I don't understand how they do that. We played some. I'm not gonna say third world countries, but we played some places where the electricity was iffy.
Yeah.
There was a lot of issues for the crew to work out. There's been security issues. I've had shows canceled. We've had shows canceled because the security couldn't be guaranteed. We have security guys who will go in and assess the situation. I won't say where, but we played this one place, or we were going to play this one place. It was pretty far east in Europe, where we were playing outside, and the ground where the audience was rocks like the size of your hand, and security was like, it took them all of 30 seconds. Show's canceled. No way.
One wrong note.
Yeah.
Yeah. Right.
Yeah. So we ended up with the night off.
Wow. Tony Heredia, what do you do with your old Tama kits? Sorry.
I don't have that many. I have. I acquired a few years ago my old white Tama kit, and that's a whole story in itself. So I have that. I have the Tama kit that I toured and did Puppet Master on. I still have that. It's a Tama Imperial Star. Or it's a Tama Star Classic Maple. And then I have the one that I have here, which is the kit I toured with. I can remember. It's a Tama kit. There's a black Tama kit. And then I have another black Tama kit, which is the European kit, and it's over there. And that's it. So
what's the story with the white one?
The white one is that's the kit I bought when I was 16. I moved to LA and worked in the factory actually for the summer. And I saved up all the money. That's another story. But I bought a white Tama Imperial Star Classic kit that's modeled after Lars Ulrich's 86 tour kit. Yeah. And I brought it to Dallas. Oh, my God. It's a story all in itself, man. It's like the piano or the red violin. Remember that? It's kind of like that. It's just insane. It's been everywhere. That thing's been around, and it. You ever see the Futurama Assy come home? Like at the end, Bender's ass comes back to him, and it was like that, man. Like a friend of mine in New Jersey saw it for sale on a Craigslist ad, and sent it to me and said, "Is this your kit?" And I said, "Yeah." Wow, holy crap, that's my kit. So she offered to buy it and send it to me, and she freaking did, man. It's my next neighbor growing up.
Wow, that's pretty cool.
It's still in the boxes. She said it's in horrible shape. It's probably been. I mean, when I had it, it would be just puked on and spilled everything on, burned.
Still, it's memories, though. You know. All right.
One day I'll set it up.
Yeah. Final question. Tony Morgan. Do you know who Tony Morgan is? He's a huge King Diamond fan. He's a big fanboy, really big fanboy. Talks to me all the time.
Tony, get a life. Get a life, Tony.
Please, Tony, come on. Leave Matt alone. Leave me alone. Just watch the show and enjoy it.
No, he's a cool dude, man.
No, he is a cool dude. I love it. I mean, I bust his chops all the time, and he told me to please, tell you how much of a fan he is of yours. But he wants to know any news from Sergeant Schultz.
Sergeant Schultz?
Yeah. You don't remember?
I'm stumped.
I know nothing. I see nothing.
Oh. From Sergeant Schultz. Right. That's my deflection meme.
Yes. And we all know what that means, but you people don't. So I'm keeping it a secret.
Oh, he wants to know any news about the new album? Well, yeah. I mean, I would say, Tony, even if I knew something, I wouldn't say anything because it's got to go through the original channels. King will sell no wine before it's time, so you have to look for announcements from the King Diamond official social media outlets.
Exactly. Very cool. Well, Lisa, anything else?
Well, any plans for a live stream? And you could like wink once for yes, wink twice for
a live
no.
stream,
like a live
of
stream of a performance. King Diamond. I mean, Behemoth did it. They did a cool thing where they had a multicam set up, and you could pay an extra charge for their ticket, and you can curate your own show. That was pretty badass.
Yeah, I just thought. Yeah, totally badass. Behemoth is a freaking force of nature, man.
Oh yeah.
I don't know. I haven't heard any plans like that. It would be very difficult, man, because King and I are over here, and the rest of the guys are over there. So I don't think there would be really any way to coordinate that digitally. I think we'd have to be in the same location to pull that off.
You would. Yeah.
Yes. One other thing I meant to ask you before, the drum cam. When did you start doing that?
When I first got a GoPro, and that was in. Oh no, that's not true. Actually, I did it on I used to lug big video cameras around on tour, man. I have a huge collection of drum cams, man, from shows all over the place.
Yeah. I was watching some of your YouTube stuff.
I started doing it in 2005 is when I started kind of doing it.
Mm. Yeah, King was cool with all that.
With the one that we released was there's a live one, and then there's the playthrough. It was released by his social media, so it was cool.
That's cool.
Yeah. So did you have to run that through him first before you officially did it, or?
Oh yeah. Well, it's not my material.
Right. No, of course. Yeah.
I have one more question.
Nope, you're done. Goodbye, everybody.
I have one more question.
Come on, for 2 hours. Let's go.
Sorry if I've been annoying. I know it's been a long time. Somebody asked you a question. I saw an interview with you many years ago, and somebody asked you a question about having occult dreams or something like that. And then you said you had it's a musician dream. It's like I'm trying to get to the show and I can't find the stage, and I look at the set list and I don't recognize any of the songs. I don't have my sticks with me. For me, it's like I can't find my bass, I can't find the stage. I'm driving, I can't find where am I supposed to go. Do you still have those dreams since we're not gigging anymore? Do you still have those dreams?
Yeah, no, not lately.
Me neither.
But I've had them on the run up to almost every tour. I can remember having those dreams. I'll get on stage and there's the set list and I don't recognize any of the songs. And then the hi-hat's over here and the bass drums over here and the cymbals over here. I got to run around to hit the stuff. Yep. Uh-huh.
Sounds like a Snowy Shore drum setup.
Yeah.
You ever see like this, the way he sets up his stuff half the time?
Oh my God, man. He's so over the top.
Yeah.
You ever see the video for Book of Heavy Metal?
Yeah. I can't remember, what did he do in that?
Oh my God, dude. It's like, okay, they show like guys in the band, they look cool, you know, and kind of got that black and white kind of maybe set.
Yep, okay, it's coming back to me a little bit, yeah.
Yeah, and then they show that guy, and I think it's Gus G in that band, Michael or Frederick Thornton. All right, they're showing it. They're going around, and they look cool and stuff. You know, is my head cut off? I'm just gonna imitate it. Oh, okay, anyway. And then they get to Snowy, and he's hitting the backbeat. He's got this huge sledgehammer, dude. He's Road Warrior, like
yeah, with the hair,
chains and stuff.
Yeah, he does some weird stuff. And then there was another video where he took his bass drum and he put it sideways and he was playing with both of his feet on both sides of the bass drum. So he does a lot of weird stuff. But that's what makes him great. But Lisa, is that it?
That's it. This has been a lot of fun.
Yeah,
really great.
A lot of fun.
Thank you. I enjoyed it too.
I'm a fan of your playing, and I'm a fan of the Shaolin thing, and I'm gonna have to check out everything else you've done because you're a tremendous drummer. And like I said, my touring drum. I'm in a blues band, but when we're driving down the road, you know, we're heading to Wyoming, man. It's like we're listening to King Diamond and Merciful Fate and Iron Maiden. We're just cranking metal all the way. So yeah, we've definitely listened to you down many a mile.
Amazing. Thank you, Lisa. I appreciate that.
Yeah, very cool.
Hit me up if you have any questions about anything, you know, if you want to know anything, like there's a lot of bands. If there's any bands on that list that you want me to send you a link to, or even maybe have a demo or something, just let me know.
Right on. Thank you.
Send us everything. I love to, as you see, I like to collect things, so.
Far out, man.
Yeah.
Keep in touch.
Yeah, of everything. Yeah, definitely. But yeah, I really appreciate you coming on. I'm finally glad to have somebody that's been involved with these last few albums because I've had nobody. So I'm really appreciate you coming on and talking about these albums so you can add to the show. And people have been really liking all the interviews that we've been doing, and they're gonna love your interview because it was really a lot of fun. So thank you very much for coming on.
Thanks, man. Pleasure's mine.
All right, and cool. Anything? What's your website in case people want to visit it, and if they haven't been to it?
It's mattthompsondrums.com.
Okay, and you actually obviously give drum lessons. Do they contact you for that through there, or how does that work?
Yeah. My email addresses are on there. You can contact me there. You can contact me on Facebook. If you type in Matt Thompson Drums, I come up.
All right, awesome. Really cool. We will all type it in. Actually, I think I requested you, and you didn't accept my friend request, so get on that.
Oh shit! Sorry, dude. I'll look for it. There's a lot.
I'm sure you have a lot. That's why I don't
redo it.
I'll redo it. All right, very cool. Again, thank you very much for coming on, and we will see you guys next week. RatSaladReview.com, MattThompson.com, right? Is that what you said? And
MattThompsonDrums.com.
MattThompsonDrums.com, sorry. And WhiteCrone.com or WhiteCrone.bandcamp.com or something like that. For White Crone. Look
WhiteCrone.com. It has all the links you need.
That's right. And we will see you guys
next
time. Bye.